Phobos is a game that my husband and some of his teammates came up with in college as a semester project, and it definitely blossomed into something a lot bigger than that.
Well, Phobos is a game that was initially idealized by Thomas and Savon in class.
Well, I met this cool guy named Thomas. He's sitting next to me in class, and he had an idea for a game, and I liked it a lot, so I just went along with it.
Phobos is a horror game that me and my team have been working on since the beginning of this semester, and it's getting really big now.
Phobos is an idea that that we came up with. It started in class. Basically, there's like a miniature competition to pick people's ideas, and then based on like the best ideas, you make teams off of it. So I knew that was gonna happen. So what I did was I started brainstorming a week early and really polished this idea, and I pitched it to Savon. He was sitting next to me, and I'm glad I did, because the guy came along and we got this game rolling.
Phobos is the best game ever. It's a survival horror game.
It started off as just kind of like a cool idea that we had hashed up. It was just something we were going to get an A on, something we were going to show the professor that we were proficient enough to get an A in her class. But once I started noticing the caliber of my teammates, I noticed that, keeping this game inside the school walls wasn't going to be enough. So we had to promote it and get it out there. So Phobos became this whole nother monster.
But also because it was different. It wasn't the same as all the other games that are out there. It followed a different tune. It kind of it set its own mark.
Basically, what makes it special to me is I dreamt it up. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And it's cool to see that, between a couple of Montgomery College students, we made this idea into a reality.
Well, it's survival horror, I love that genre. I play Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Dead Space, and I just wanted to work in a game like this.
I've never seen anyone actually bring a very well put game into life, and how really good it is to become an indie game, especially a game that came from college and becoming way much bigger than that.
The fact that we were all cooperating with each other was a really nice touch, and the idea overall.
And what I tell my team about this game is that, to me, this is kind of like a baby. It's kind of like, I nurtured it as an idea, and I kind of protected it from being changed by others, but ultimately, it's just kind of been flourishing into something else.
For me as marketing, it was difficult trying to fund Phobos as college students. That was probably the hardest part, trying to find merchandising, trying to get us into different conventions like Creator Con, and hopefully Video Gamers United. That was the hardest part, was just trying to find cheap ways to get our names out on the map.
As a programmer, there are a lot of challenges, like getting the pause screen to work. That took forever.
A challenge for me, a personal one, was with the Oculus. Phobos is fully compatible with the Oculus, but when we got the guy, Russ, to port the game to the Oculus, there was this issue where our monsters weren't interacting with the player. And basically it was a game-breaking bug or glitch, and it basically made the game come to a standstill, because our big marketing angle was kind of getting cup-checked because of this bug, so we couldn't progress.
For me, since I was the art director, the artsy ones were my issues in particular, but the programming isn't my forte, or programming was just hard for me.
Scripting and finding models for the game, because as a student, we have very limited abilities.
It was an ambitious project. while most everyone was conforming to kind of the parameters of what the class covered. We decided to kind of break the fourth wall and continue to build on what we were learning in that class and actually go above and beyond. So we implemented things into the game that we're not familiar with, things that we barely understand, but we had to go through tutorials and really get a good understanding of it.
The meetings at Thomas's house were just really, really fun. He's got a lot of cool things, you know, and that was just the best. And like, yeah, and drawing overall was cool.
Seeing your ideal come to life. You know, you have an ideal for a game and it's in your head and you can put it to life. I just find that so cool.
The cons, for sure. CreatorCon was a ton of fun. Even though it wasn't a high school, it was definitely worth the stress for the 2 days leading up to it, the no sleep, but it was definitely worth it.
Creating music and soundtrack for the game, even though like I'm new at it and I still have to know like what's more to come in the game and to understand and build up a soundtrack for it.
Working with my team because they are great people, and putting everything together and make the game interesting.
The most fun part of Phobos is just seeing your idea come alive. Also working with all the talented people that Montgomery College has. I think that when you say you're in junior college, people are just like, you know, you're kind of the back nine. But I mean, these people that I've met, they're extremely, extremely talented. You know, I've met Max, he's extremely talented with anything media. He's a composer, he can play music. You know, Savon is a good programmer. Chelsea, very driven people. There's really no limit to what you can do when everybody is driven. So.
Savon. He's this guy I know. No, Savon's a really funny guy. He's definitely one of the guys that always brings life to the party. He reminds me of Urkel. So, no, he's a great guy.
Savon's a guy. Savon's a guy. He's our programmer.
Savon is I don't know, he deals something with the computers, I'm not sure.
Savon is a very good programmer. He's a very funny guy and he's very hardworking.
Savon. He's my ride or die guy. Like, he's kind of like, you know, when the idea first came up, I pitched it to Savon, and right from the start, Savon was very supportive. He was very into it, and he's just kind of like, you know, that cool, chilled guy that, you know, programs. You know, you tell him to do something, and he gets it done. I couldn't say anything better.
Chelsea's the most driven person in our team. I think she's really committed to this, and she's puts her heart and soul into everything she does, and it pays off because everything she does is just amazing, and she helps us out a lot too.
Chelsea's the greatest person in the team. She's very hardworking. She always knows what to do. She gets everything done. Chelsea is amazing.
I admire Chelsea. She has to deal with those 3 boys all day long, all the time, with their crude jokes. So I definitely applaud her for that. I know being around a group of guys can be tough, but she, aside from that, she's very talented in what she does. She knows a lot about programming, a lot about level design, and I definitely think that she brings a new eye, especially as a woman, into a game that a lot of guys created, but she's definitely an asset.
Chelsea's like the big mama of the house. Like, she's the person everybody goes to. If there's an issue, a general issue, they go to her. She's extremely talented. I've worked with tons of people, but Chelsea is like one of those persons that are just gonna be stuck with me for the rest of my life, just because of her ambition and just like her relentless struggle to like perfect this game and really get this game like polished and to what she feels is quality, which is extreme. Like her bar is extremely high, so like she's got us working all the time.
Max is a guy I met today, actually. I knew he was inaugurated into the group, but he's a pretty cool guy. After hearing his work and seeing his work, thumbs up of approval.
Max is the media director for the whole team. He's cool, and he also makes really good music.
He's a composer for our group, and I'm so happy that we met this guy because we really need something original.
Max is this awesome guy, super cool guy, lives very close to me, and he just is a pro at everything. Guitar. If I asked him to compose something, which he has, he'll compose it. If I ask him to run these interviews, he does it. He knows his stuff. He has the equipment. I mean, he's a very, very special asset to the studio. I'm glad we got him.
Luis, he's quite a talented guy. Every time he comes to the house, he has a lot of ideas, and he definitely voices his opinion a lot. But he's definitely talented. He drew boobs, which was awesome. It looked really nice, so.
Luis is one of the best artists I ever known, and he's a very cool guy.
Luis is probably the most colorful character in our bench. Basically, Luis is very animated. He's free-spirited, and basically just with like that free-spiritness comes a lot of creativity, comes a lot of ambition. And it's just sometimes, you got to channel it in the proper direction. So you just kind of got to remind him like, hey, we got deadlines. So, but when he does apply himself, it's just absolute beautiful work.
Thomas was the creator. I always told him he had really great ideas, and it's really amazing to see his ideas blossom into something a lot bigger than just a semester project. He's created games before, but this game has definitely taken a whole new light, it's just a lot bigger than anything else he's ever created before.
Thomas is the boss of the group. He's the one to make us like get everything done. Like he drives us to get this game out there.
Well, Thomas is my friend. I met him in college, and he's a really cool guy. He's really into video games, and he one day he asked me to come help him and to do media director for him.
Thomas is a guy who made the initial idea with Savon for this game. He's basically, if there had to be founding, like before the initial 4, it would have to be Savon and Thomas. So Thomas is very important. He has the most drive to get this thing marketed, and that's very admirable.
Jenna is the marketing manager of the team.
Jenna is Tom's wife. She's really, really nice, and she gets us food and drinks, and she helped us with marketing, and can't say thank you enough for that. Thanks, Jenna.
Jenna is in charge of marketing. Jenna, even before she was voted into the group, she was already involved in it. She was very supportive from the start. She got the Creator Con. Basically, the story behind Creator Con, I'll go into it really fast, but the story behind Creator Con is we were told 2 days early that we were going to be demoing our game there, and Professor Solomon asked us if we wanted to do it. I said yes, and basically that same day I called everybody and I said, get on your computers, we're building a demo. The game was almost fully done, but we just didn't build the demo because we didn't need to. So we built the demo, we got it all done, and while I was working on that end, Jenna was making sure that the tablecloths were set, the monitors were put away. She was making sure that the displays were all in line. She was making sure that everything was in place, basically. She did shirts for us, she did flyers, she did business cards, she did the outreach. So, I mean, like I said, not to be biased, but I mean, I have probably the best team of Montgomery College and Towson, because that's where she graduated from. But I have the best team. I couldn't be happier. At the beginning, I didn't. I just thought, you know, this is a good enough idea to get me an A in this class and, you know, keep my GPA up, keep me on the dean's list. But as I saw everyone's dedication to the game and their hard work, it became evident that yes, this is an idea that is large enough to be published, and the game is worth and big enough to get published. So now I do believe that the game is worth publishing.
Initially, I didn't think so. I had initially thought that it was gonna be a hard game because I had never actually done a 3D game before. So getting this done for class and in time was already a challenge for me. So no, I didn't think it was gonna publish at all.
At first, I thought we were just, you know, working on the school project. You know, I didn't think it was gonna turn into anything big, but once we started working with the game, we saw that it had potential to become something way much bigger than, you know, just a school project, and we wanted to make it like a bigger game than what it should be.
When my husband first came home talking about it, I never really thought it was going to become anything bigger. I just thought it was going to be another project that he had worked on, another game just like Radiant Kenko was. So no, I definitely didn't think it was going to blow up like it did, but I'm definitely happy it did.
What makes me confident that Phobos will be a success is the amount of work we've put in, the amount of dedication, and overall just the amount of love that we've put into this project. We've had people from the start, such as Savon, Luis, and Chelsea, and even right from the start, there really wasn't any type of, let's say, like jealousy or resentment because this idea was picked over the other, and they just kind of went with it, and they invested their hard work and love. And, you know, it became evident. There's also other guys, very talented, like Russ and Max that have joined. And they're also applying all their expertise and their love to the game. So it's kind of like what my grandma always said, you know, if you cook with love, it's always going to taste good. So we're programming and we're building with love. So the game's going to be awesome.
Right now, it's everyone's charisma, it's everyone's energy, and everyone's drive to get this done. I think that if we keep this up the entire way, we market everything correctly and the way it's supposed to be done, that it will be an enormous success.
The team. Our team is just amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for a better team.
The talent that has, and all the work that's been put into Phobos. I mean, there's, you know, media directors, artists, programmers, level designers, and they all work so well together. I think that's what's going to make this game popular.
After publishing, the support is going to be tricky. And the reason I say it's going to be tricky is because the support will come straight from the feedback that we get from the player, from the backers, and from the people that purchase the software. If the software is very, very popular, then, you know, this is going to be like an ongoing project. It's going to get DLC, it's going to get future installment sequels. It's going to get, you know, it might get like a comic book line. You know, the sky's the limit. We have the talent, we have the people to do it. It's just, you know, we need the backers and we need the people that want to see Phobos.
I don't know, there's a lot in this game that leaves open for character creation. I think even after the game is done, I will continue to make character concept, character ideas, and hopefully expand on what we've left once we've done the game.
What I've heard is that there's going to be some DLC expansion, maybe a Phobos 2, from what I heard from Savon. So I definitely think that there's going to be a lot more additionally to Phobos.
Players can expect Phobos DLC expansions. You know, we have so many things that we can do with the game, like more levels, more story, more characters.
Hopefully Old Line Entertainment can grow into a much bigger studio that we can produce more games. Just with the experience with Phobos, I think that this studio can go really far, especially with the team that we have.
Hopefully a lot. I like everyone's energy, and if we can transfer all this energy into a new project, hopefully with just as much or more energy than we have right now, we can knock it out of the park.
Old Line Entertainment is a studio comprised of 7 MC students. For those that don't know, Montgomery College is a junior college. Unfortunately, some of us will be parting ways to go to the larger universities such as Baltimore. But that's not to say that the group will split up. Actually, we've already spoken and we do have other ideas and projects on the table ready to get executed as soon as Phobos is out. If Phobos does gangbusters, then of course you should be expecting a sequel, but we'll also have other ideas and fresh new concepts that we'll be building upon, because survival horror is not the only thing that Old Line does.